I want to share a story with you about how I went from being afraid of food to finding my way back into the kitchen. It's one of the reasons this channel was started in the first place. Growing up, I had a complicated relationship with food. I'd be going about my life, seeing a movie, hanging out with friends and family, and I would do what a lot of us do. Whatever the group was getting for food is what I would eat also. You go out to the movies with friends and you share some popcorn and a soda. You go out to a bar and you might split appetizers with everyone. If it's a family function, you eat what was made. Someone worked hard to cook it, and cleaning your plate is not just polite, to do anything else would be an insult. Growing up in an Italian household makes that part doubly true. In all these circumstances, most people would just feel too full, feel bloated, or get a hangover. For me, it would be infinitely worse. Waves of stomach pain, abdominal cramps, and the feeling of red-hot coals moving through my intestines as I count the tiles on the bathroom floor for the third time in a row. Social events became the source of anxiety for me. Would I be okay after eating? Should I skip the meal just to be safe? Or just avoid the situation entirely and stay home? Food became unpredictable. Sometimes I'd eat something and I'd feel perfectly fine. Other times, the exact same meal would leave me feeling miserable for hours. The worst part, nobody talked about digestive issues back then. There wasn't the awareness that we have today about IBS, about food allergies and intolerances, or gut health. I felt like I was navigating this alone. And honestly, I started to fear food instead of enjoying it. Everything changed in 2018. After years of pain and digestive discomfort, I went to 4 different specialists. And I got a diagnosis of irritable bowel syndrome and a prescription for an antispasmodic medication, something I was supposed to take to lessen the abdominal cramps, but no recommendations as to diet or lifestyle changes. All I had were Band-Aids, and I needed a solution. I was tired of feeling sick all the time, tired of being afraid to eat. That's when I started exploring other options. I'm a martial artist, and I'd been hearing a lot about traditional Chinese medicine. I found an acupuncturist who looked at the body holistically, not just treating symptoms, but asking bigger questions about how I was living and what I was eating. I started noticing that gluten was a trigger for me, that certain oils made me feel terrible, and that processed foods were wreaking havoc on my system. So, I started experimenting with gluten-free flour, learning natural remedies for my flare-ups, and figuring out how I could recreate everything I wanted to eat, but just do it in a way that my body could actually handle. The most rewarding thing about learning my triggers and embracing ingredients that actually soothe my system wasn't just the time spent in the kitchen. It wasn't the creative dishes or making food fun again. It was learning more about myself. It's also made social situations less anxiety-inducing. Before, I didn't know how to explain why I couldn't just get the popcorn, share the nachos, or order the burger. It's not about feeling guilty about the calories. It's about those foods could seriously harm me. But after spending so much time understanding which foods support me and which aggravate me, those social situations got way, way easier. I recently went to a diner with friends, and I love diners. Cheap food, endless hangouts, and those massive menus. What used to feel like navigating a minefield is now almost instinctive. I can scan that huge menu and know exactly what works for me. The point isn't to have some amazing or groundbreaking culinary experience. It's about spending time with friends. Everyone has their plate, and that reflects their choices. And I have mine. Now I can actually enjoy these moments without the anxiety, without wondering what price I'll have to pay later. You know, I walked into these experiences looking for solutions to my stomach pain. And at the beginning, all I found were ways to address the symptoms without actually addressing the underlying core issue. So basically, I was being told, keep eating these foods that are wreaking havoc on my system, and then take this medication to offset the problems that the food was creating. And the place I've ended up was, why can't the food be the thing that helps me take care of my body? How can it help address the core issues? That's the reason I started this channel. As much as it's a way to showcase what I've learned and what works for me and what tastes great, I want to learn what dietary restrictions you're dealing with. What are you struggling with? I can't guarantee I'm going to offer the best answers, but I want to offer solutions. How can we make our food medicine again, instead of taking medicine despite the food?